Hello, today for our first math lesson, we're going to be going over how to solve 1, 2, and 3 variable equations. Let's get right into it. Solving one variable equations are really easy. To solve them, you have to isolate the variable, which you could do by subtracting, multiplying, dividing, or adding values on both sides of an equation. Isolation is a very easy method, which is why solving one variable equations aren't too hard either. So let's get into our first example, which is x is equal to 3x plus 6. Since we want the x on one side, we would subtract 3x from both sides. You get minus 2x is equal to positive 6. We don't want the minus 2. We want x just by itself. So we would divide by minus 2 on both sides. You get x is equal to 6 over minus 2, which is equal to negative 3. So x is equal to negative 3. What a lot of people do is that they check their answer by plugging it back into the original equation, seeing if it makes a valid equation. So let's do that. Minus 3 is equal to 3 times negative 3 plus 6. You get minus 3 is equal to negative 9 plus 6, and minus 3 is equal to minus 3. And this is a valid equation, so this is the correct solution. So this is another example. It's a bit harder because we've got a fractional coefficient for a, but it should still be really easy to solve. So we have 1 half a plus 3 is equal to a. Since we want the a just by itself on one side, we should subtract the 3 from both sides. You get 1 half a is equal to 5. Now since we want the a just by itself on one side, you would multiply by both sides by 2. So when we do that, you get a is equal to 10, and that's our answer. So let's plug it back into that equation. 1 half times 10 plus 3 is supposed to equal to 8. So you get 5 plus 3 is supposed to equal to 8. And you get 8 is equal to 8, which is a valid equation. So this is our solution. So two variable equations are a bit harder. There are two ways to solve them: substitution and elimination. Let's see both of them. So this is substitution. Let's try to solve it. 3x plus 6 is equal to y. X plus 4 is equal to y. So substitution's first step is you want to isolate one of these two equations to just for x. So let's do this one. X plus 4 is equal to y. So you want to isolate the x. So x is equal to y minus 4. So notice that x is over here and x is over here. So you can substitute the x over here for y minus 4. So let's do that. 3 times y minus 4 plus 6 equals to y. So you get 3y minus 12 plus 6 equals to y. Or 3y minus 6 is supposed to equal to y. So after some simplifying, you get 2y is equal to 6 and y is equal to 3. So now let's plug this value into this equation so we can find the x value too. So you get 3x plus 6 is equal to 3. And so you get 3x is equal to negative 3 and x is equal to negative 1. So your solution is going to be negative 1 comma 3. Elimination is much easier than substitution, so let's see how it goes. 3x plus y is equal to 8. X minus y is equal to 1. So what you could do is that you could multiply both sides of this equation by 3. It won't harm the equation in any way. All the values will stay the same. So you get 3x plus y is equal to 8. And 3x minus 3y is equal to 3. Now notice if you subtract these two equations, you'll be left with the one variable equation of y. So let's do that. If you subtract these two equations, you get 4y is equal to 5. And you get y is equal to 5 fourths. Now let's plug this back into this equation and see the x value. So x minus 5 fourths is equal to 4 fourths. 4 fourths is 1. So you get x is equal to 9 fourths. And so our solution is 9 fourths comma 5 fourths. So three variable equations are much harder, but you can use similar techniques to solve them. So what we could do is that we could try to just solve for y and z first. I'll show you how to do that. So let's start with the equations minus 2x plus 4y minus c and 2x plus 2y plus 3z. And this is equal to 6, this is equal to 1. If you add these two equations, you can get rid of the x, and you will just be left with the y and z variable equation. So let's do that. Yes, 6y plus 2z is equal to 7. And so you could also do a similar thing for the first two equations too. Minus x plus 2y minus c is equal to negative 4 minus 2x. Oh, there's no minus there. Minus 2x plus 4y minus c is 6. And so you can multiply this first equation by 2. So you get 2x minus 4y minus 2z is equal to negative 8. And when you add these two equations, you get 8y minus 3z is equal to negative 2. So you get a system of equations here. 8y minus 3z is equal to negative 2. So let's try to solve this. Our first step would be to multiply this by 4 and this by 3. So you get 24y plus 8c is equal to 28. And 24y minus 9z is equal to negative 6. So when you subtract, you get 17z is equal to 34. And z is equal to 2. So let's plug this back into the system of equations. So if z is equal to 2, then 6y plus 4 is equal to 7. So y is equal to 1/2. So we could plug these values of z and y into the original equations to find x. So let's do that. Let me erase some stuff to get some space. So what you could do x plus 2 times 1/2 minus 2 is equal to negative 4. So x plus 1 minus 2 is equal to negative 4. So x minus 1 is equal to negative 4. So x is equal to negative 3. So your solutions are going to be negative 3, comma 1/2, comma 2 for x, y, and z. And that's it. Thank you.